Good evening, everybody. Madam Clerk.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Battaglia.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we move forward, just want to, we just lost the city of Hackensack, lost one of its own. We just lost retired police officer Kevin O'Boyle in the last several days. I want to move this on, please. Thank you. Our prayers go out to Kevin and his friends and family at this time. On a brighter note, we have a good swearing in tonight. So, Lieutenant Sean Briggs, if you please come forward. Hey, sir.
Mayor.
All right. Here. Who's going to hold the Bible? Okay. We're all ready?
Ready.
We're ready. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sean Briggs,
I, Sean Briggs,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of police lieutenant
all the duties of the office of police lieutenant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Great job. Yep, you gotta sign
Before you
something,
start
Sean.
pictures and everything, I need a signature.
Would you like to say something? A few words from our police director.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just wait for Sean to finish signing here. Sean, I want to congratulate you from the day I got to the Hackensack Police Department. I've heard nothing but great things about your passion and commitment to the citizens of Hackensack. So I really appreciate that. Where's Mom and Dad? So during the interview, all he did was talk about you two and about the values that you provided him. Now, he decided to go the police route and not the fire route, so I'm not sure how you really feel about that. But you said earlier that he's happy, and I can tell he is. Angelica, he talked about you as well. The only problem was when we were telling him he was being promoted, we asked what you were doing tonight, and that was a little odd, right? You weren't really sure on how to handle that, but you're here, and that's a good thing to congratulate him. This is a great moment, and I'm so happy that we have so many folks that showed up to recognize you. But thanks again. I do want to add this last piece, okay? You're a lieutenant now. You moved into these upper ranks. That's an interesting place to be because you're straddling between command ranks, and being still close to the line level. Those bars that are on your shoulder, they're meant to be very heavy. And the reason they're heavy is you no longer have to worry about just yourself. You have to worry about the department, you have to worry about the personnel that you're responsible for, and to worry about the city. So at any given moment, if you feel that your shoulders need a little workout, that's why. They're meant to be heavy. So wear them well, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I would just like to thank my family for being here, my wife Angelica, Mr. Manager, Mayor and Council, Director, Captain Antista, all my co-workers, and obviously my best friend Greg. I appreciate everything you guys did for me. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Take a picture with the mayor real quick, first.
We'll be right here, we'll be right down. Right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, good luck, congratulations again. Oh, okay.
How do you want to look really good? They put a hockey together.
We signed them in.
No, you didn't have anything to sign.
All right. Moving forward. I need the approval of minutes for the regular county executive meeting of January 24th and February 7th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia. Councilmember Carroll. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. And with that, we'll go right to the manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Be advised that due to the current storm, recycling collection has been suspended for tomorrow for routes 3 and 4. We will resume recycling collection for these routes on March 7th. The 2023 New Jersey League of Municipalities in the City of Hackensack Scholarship Opportunity is available for our high school juniors and seniors. Deadline for submission is March 10th. Please see our clerk's office or school counselor or one of your school counselors for more information. Community garden members, as of February 1st, registration has opened for returning gardeners, and new gardeners can register as of March 1st. Please contact our Recreation Department for more details. The Bergen County Mosquito Control Division has circulated some useful information for our residents as we approach spring and summer months and the infestation of mosquitoes. Please refer to the link on our website and social media for more information. Beginner pickleball is now available at our Recreation Center starting March 7th. Please contact our Recreation Center for more information. And lastly, the City of Hackensack is continuing its efforts to protect Hackensack residents from COVID-19. For more information on upcoming free bivalent booster clinics, please contact our health department or refer to our website. That's it on the report. On that report, Your Honor, if it's okay, I'd like to go into the 2022 city year-end report. Okay, I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. I know the weather's getting bad outside. But on page 2 here is just a tax infograph regarding, a breakdown of where the city's tax dollars are going and the percentages that are involved. From From 2021 to 2022, there was less than 1% increase on most, if not all, of the levies that we had to deal with. And as you can see, the Board of Education levy is 46% of your taxes, and the municipal tax levy is 45%. County tax levy is 8%, and then a combination of open space and the library taxes, plus or minus 1%. The next couple slides are some redevelopment updates. I'm not going to read all of them, but these are the private development projects that have been approved or in the process or have been completed. You'll see in your reports there are specific addresses and going forward. Some more redevelopment updates on page 2. Again, these are private development projects approved or in the process or completed. Lastly are the redevelopment updates regarding city and county-owned development projects that are in process. Excuse me, I'm sorry. As you will see on there, the city and county-owned development projects that are in process. And then the last slide concerning redevelopment, I was looking forward, and you will see the various projects that are in some form or status place of what's coming up for the near future and beyond. Next slide is regarding project management. There are numerous projects that have been completed. There are more projects that are in process, and there's a clear path of everything that's in here right now. Additional project management, upcoming projects is the next slide. Streets and traffic, city-funded projects, parks, sewers and drainage, and some other types of projects that don't fall into those categories. This report, by the way, this report will be available in its entirety. This is more of a concise version, Mayor, but the report will be available on the website right after the meeting for everybody in its full context. Next is the police department. Just some quick stats regarding PD. In 2022, there were 105,004 calls for service, which is up about 13.5 from 2021. There were 836 complaints issued. That's plus 252 from 2021, including ordinances, and there were 656 arrests, which is up 184 from 2021, which is a 28% increase. There's a further breakdown involving males and females and juveniles. Patrol division, the amount of summonses that were issued, there was increases in summonses issued, moving violations, and a small increase in parking violations. There's also a breakdown from the traffic division and all the work that they did. Traffic division issued over 32,000 summonses and investigated 2,522 accidents. One of the points that I wanted to bring out to you in this is the amount of pedestrians and bicyclists accidents and pedestrians struck that we've had to deal with. And it's going to be, between myself and the director, a new project going forward is a pedestrian safety campaign to try and reduce some of those numbers. Those are some crazy numbers. I mean, we are a walking city. However, there are way too many accidents involving pedestrians and bicyclists. I broke out a lot of these stats, as you will see going forward, into Excel spreadsheets, so they are easier to read. I know the Deputy Mayor will like that. So there's anything in red is a decrease or something that we need to be cautioned about, and anything green is a positive. There's some further breakdown regarding narcotics division and the youth division. Those are in red because you can see that there are some increases that should be that we need to look at as possible cautions, and to be working with the director going forward. Next slide. I can get it past my screen here. Is the compliance officer, which is our former council, Constable, the biggest point here is the HCOP unit, which is under his command, turned 25 years old. As you know, we had a ceremony in August of 2022. Some stats for the compliance officer. Again, these are available. Parking utility information, pay by phone and park mobile apps are our biggest changes in 2022, which was started in October. And there's some additional information there regarding all those, the meters and the Land Street garage work that's being done, etc. Parking fund, some increases in revenue, which is always a good thing, especially non-budgeted revenue, which you can see is way up, and the budget, etc. And parking fund year to date, there's a 36% increase from last year, which is excellent. Which means more people are traveling and coming to the city. Next is fire department. There's a breakdown of all the different calls. There was a total number of incidents in 2022 of 6,101. That's an increase from the previous year as well, which is, you know, it's with the increase in the redevelopment and everything, you know, we're going to have those numbers are going to increase naturally. Fire prevention. There's the periodic inspections are up 40%, which is really good, and the annual overdue required inspections was cut down by 76%. One of the things that I had worked with fire prevention on is we had a lot of inspections for certain businesses and hazardous locations that were overdue. They really worked hard on them in 2022, and they got it cut down to only 90. Which is a 76% decrease, which is awesome. Office Emergency Management, biggest note here is our total FEMA recovery in 2022 was over $500,000 at $555,249. That is due to the hard work of Deputy Chief Nyland, and that was based on Tropical Storm Isaias and the remnants of Hurricane Ida. It takes a long time for that money to get to us, and that's why, you know, we're reporting these now. Building department, naturally with all the redevelopments going on, we have a lot of increases in the metrics regarding permit counts are up 13%. They received over 20% more that have gone up. Fire subcode has gone up. This is all in direct relation to the more people coming into the city, moving into the city, and again, the redevelopment. Some more building department metrics. Our zoning fees are up, planning fees are up, sewer connection fees are way up, 152%, and total revenues for the building department are up almost $2 million, which is a 58% increase, which is really good too, showing that the city is very active. Let's see. Some more building, oh, I went backwards. I have a problem here with my iPad, sorry. Zoning and property maintenance, planning board applications are up 155%. Again, showing that, you know, there's projects coming before the board. And our complete inspections are up, meaning that our property maintenance people are out there issuing fines and investigating complaints regarding any property maintenance issues. Municipal court, our POAA funds collected is up 87%. Total collections of fines is up 27.5%. We're starting to move now forward into in-person court again. There are a lot of backlogs of cases, so these numbers will continue as the dispositions are done, will continue to move forward and increase. Sorry. I'm going to try and go through the tax collector from here. I can't get something's not working here. Tax collector, state board judgments are down. Thank you. State board judgments are down. Sometimes technology is not good. Tax collector, I apologize. I'm going to get through this quickly. State board judgments are down, which is a good thing, down 14%. However, our county board judgments, in contrast, are up 52% in 2022. Another big thing that has changed is our open outside liens are down almost 88%, which is great too. Moving on to the tax assessor, tax rate for 2022 was 2.802, which went down significantly compared to 2021, which was 3.358. The city's average residential tax payment for houses and condos was $8,820 for tax year 2022, which is the 6th lowest out of the 70 municipalities in Bergen County. There were 347 residential sales in 2022. Sale prices on the average residential property are up approximately 8.5% from the prior year, which is a good sign of the healthy financial part of market in the city. The commercial properties pay the equivalent of 67% of the tax base, which is the best in Bergen County. The new tax map for 2023 was completed by the tax assessor's office and has been approved by the Division of Taxation. Department of Public Works, just some small highlights. We received a 2022 Western Star tree truck, which arrived in July of 2022. There were 13 show mobile requests. They maintained 6 pump stations. We planted, by Shade Tree Commission, planted 45 new trees. There were some trees removed, stumps, trees trimmed, 569 plus. Of an important thing, sanitation and recycling. As we all know, the cost of solid waste collection and disposal has gone through the roof. In 2021, the total garbage collected cost went up almost 100%, with an additional $1.5 million. Getting rid of recycling materials has also gone up 121%, and is up over $59,000. So becoming a huge amount for the budget in trying to do recycling and getting rid of garbage. Health department, some statistics there regarding birth records, marriage certificates, death records. Of note is environmental health complaints investigated is up almost 50%. Also in the health department, adult vaccines are down 86%, which is naturally due to the pullback of COVID-19 issues. Last year there were over 1,000 COVID-19 vaccines still given, and the visits are were up from last year as well. Animal complaints are up significantly too, but it's still only a difference of 11. 16 for the city is not too bad. Johnson Public Library, some key numbers. They nearly doubled their new patrons to 1,878, which is another a great thing regarding that. The recreation department, there's some various recreations events, including the Sports New York basketball grant that they received, the Juneteenth celebration, which Councilman Carroll was a big part of. Got some pictures of him there. The senior trip to Hunter Hills Playhouse was a huge success. Black Poster Project down at the Green is an annual thing that has been great. Hat Pack, Shakespeare in the Park, Movies Under the Stars, Sunset Yoga, Clean Communities, Slam Dunk the Junk was held in April and October last year and was a big success. And City Clerk's Office, liquor event permits are the biggest number that is up at 120%. They continue to handle all the Oprah requests, which are up 11%. And then second to last but not least is finance and auditing. Some numbers here regarding department O&E is up 8.94. The other parking fund, as we said before, is up 36%. One of the largest increases of over $3.1 million has been health benefits. As we know, it's been a major issue. It's up almost 18%. And general liability insurance is up 30%, up to which is an increase of almost $500,000. Luckily, workers' comp is down, but it's less than 1%. And unemployment is about remained the same. Regarding our parking capital, regarding capital fund, parking capital is up 66.5%. And last but not least is our information technology department. We're updating some security protocols, updating servers and file systems. Amongst everything, Frank Borelli is head of IT and has been doing a great job with that. And we're getting into the 21st century and having everything up to date that needs to be up to date, especially regarding cybersecurity. And that is it. I tried to go through it as quick as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So let's start new business, resolution 57-23.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 5-2023, an ordinance authorizing financial agreement for inclusionary rental apartment and structured parking project upon Block 305, Lot 2, otherwise known as Lot T, by Meridia, Hackensack 70 Urban Renewal LLC, an urban renewal entity pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, NJSA 48:20-1 et sec.
Need a motion, please? Need a motion to open to the public?
Offer. Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Stagley, is he here or no? No?
Yeah, you left.
Excuse me, he was calling me, so I don't know if maybe he got disconnected and somebody needs to reach out to him again.
I don't know if I can.
I'll call.
Okay. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Williams.
Aye. Anybody from the public would like to speak to this ordinance, resolution 57-23, please come forward. Ma'am?
Good evening, Reverend Davis.
How are you?
Hi, I have a question about this ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one particular area, I don't have my glasses on, I'm not really sure, where is this area located?
This is Lot T, right next to the fire department, right on State Street.
Okay, so that's gonna be inclusionary?
Yep.
Is that gonna be made public? How do people find out that it's inclusionary?
Well, it's a way I understand it, the way Fair Share Housing does it, is it's a lottery to Bergen County.
In order, the publicity is, we have to hire a marketing entity that is obligated to perform marketing to the region. We've talked about this many times before, about the fact we cannot reserve for Hackensack residents only, but there will be advertising to anyone within the applicable region according to the requirements of our settlement agreement with Fair Share. So, you know, there are various methods, reaching out to community entities, advertising, all sorts of things that our affordable housing agent will do to make sure when these market units come online that they're made known to the public.
Okay, had we put an amendment in there, it could have been Hackensack residents only. That is possible if the city council had made that a ruling that they would give first preference to Hackensack residents for a certain amount of time. So it could have been done.
Fair Share
Fair Housing won't allow it.
would not allow that. It would not have been a creditable unit for terms of our agreement for a fair share. So no, we couldn't, we could not have done it and have those units count as affordable housing units towards our requirement.
Okay, I'll verify with that, but then that's not what they told me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Anyone else from the public?
Blanche Stewart, Hackensack. Kind of similar to what she said. All of the rental units being built, is that the only one that will have inclusionary? I know about the housing authority.
Right.
That one, the only one will have inclusionary
That's the first one
rentals?
we've
That's the only one?
been able to complete.
And also, I know
working on.
that you have been working with the housing authority. The senior waiting list is over 1,000 people long.
Mhm.
I know that there's a plan to put a family unit behind 60 Kansas Street, which is greatly needed. But there are other locations and other land that the housing authority really could use to, for family units and senior units.
What we're hoping now is downtown is coming to completion, kind of. It's getting, to the point where there's just not gonna be anything else to put up. We're gonna move into the overlay zones, which are totally inclusionary at 10% on all buildings, all residential apartments going up. So, that's our long-term goal is to use the 3 or 2 overlays. 3 overlay zones. One in the north part of town, one a little bit south, and the other one, Central.
Behind us.
right,
And
so,
would
And you
some
know
of that
about the
include
railroad-
public housing?
You know about the railroad placement too, that would be 24 all inclusion, we're working towards that actively, what's gonna go on railroad place.
Okay, I hope there are some safety issues there and that they will be considered.
Of
Because
course,
of the
all
railroad
safety
track,
is a
that the
priority.
child that was killed right there at that spot. I know that the housing authority has requested a list of property that the city owns that possibly could be used to construct new public housing. But the senior housing is really concerned. With 1,000 people on that waiting list, these are senior citizens. They may never make it to the beginning if we don't do something about that. So, thank you.
thank you, Matt. It's something we need to talk about is senior stuff. Anyone else in the public like to speak? Seeing none, motion to close.
Offer.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia. Excuse Councilmember Carroll.
All right.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Roll call.
Do you have a second? Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
All right.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, the State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 5-2023 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 58-23.
This is a resolution designating Hackensack Main Street Urban Renewal LLC as the designated redeveloper of Block 315, lots 14, 15, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.01, 28.02, 30.01, 30.02, 32.01, and 34 within the Block 315 redevelopment plan area and authorizing entry of redevelopment agreement.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Here. Councilmember Carroll.
All right.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 59-23.
A resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 6-2023, an ordinance authorizing entry of real estate purchase and sale agreement with designated redeveloper Hackensack Main Street Urban Renewal LLC for sale of block 315, lot 34, lot D, and adjacent lots potentially consisting of block 315, lots 14, 15, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.01, 28.02, 30.01, 30.02, and 32.01 to be taken by condemnation pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law and eminent domain act.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 6-2023 as introduced is now passed on first reading. And that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 14th, 2023 at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 60-23.
It's a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 7-2023, an ordinance authorizing financial agreement for market rate rental apartments, retail, public plaza, and parking structure project to be constructed upon block 315, lots 14, 15, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.01, 28.02, 30.01, 30.02, 32.01, and 34 by Hackensack Main Street Urban Renewal LLC as urban renewal entity pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law NJSA 40A:20-1 EDSEC.
Need a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 7-2023 as introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 14th, 2023 at 8:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will further be considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 61-23.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 8-2023, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack parking to update meter and monthly pricing for the use of certain off-street municipal parking lots.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be resolved.
Go ahead, sorry.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 8-2023 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 14th, 2023 at 8:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Resolution 62-23.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 9-2023, an ordinance amending chapter 3, general requirements of the property maintenance code of the City of Hackensack with respect to storage containers.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Member Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 9-2023 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 14th, 2023 at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 63-23.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 10-2023, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic regarding prohibited U-turns in section 170-63.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 64, oh,
I
sorry.
have to read. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 10-2023 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance should be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 14, 2023 at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will further be considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 64-23.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for duplicate payment and overpayment.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia. Excuse Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 65-23.
It's a resolution awarding contract to Suburban Engineering for LSRP services for Cushing Park.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 66-23.
This is a resolution awarding contract to Suburban Engineering for bid and construction services for the Harbor Park basketball court renovation project.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Need a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is out, excused. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 67-23.
It's a resolution authorizing award of bid contracts for Summit Avenue roadway improvements project to New Prince Concrete Construction Inc.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Pataglia is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 68-23.
It's a resolution authorizing award of bid contract for the 2022 road resurfacing project to DLS Contracting Inc.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is not here. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Going back real quick to Resolution 67-23. I thought Summit was going to be from Spring Valley down to Coles. Because I believe Passaic Street to Spring Valley is county. Albert, you know?
Off the top of my head, Mayor, I'm sorry, I don't. I have to look it up.
Hang on a second, let me just look to see what the Summit Avenue roadway improvements. Oh, that's so small, I can't see. All it just says, keeps saying is Summit Avenue roadway improvements.
But last meeting, we said everything that wasn't county and that wasn't done already.
I just want to make sure we're not approving to pay the county roads.
Is Jim still here or did Jim leave?
Well, can we check on it in the morning? If we have to do emergency, we'll do it. All right?
Yeah, because there's nothing actually on here that says anything else.
All right.
Project management gave you that?
No, the resolution came from Jim. With the letter from Neglia, but it doesn't have the actual bid title. That's what I was trying to see if it was on. It just says Summit Avenue. Summit Avenue roadway improvement. And I don't have a copy of the actual bid to see what was listed on it.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, I have a list here that says from Passaic Street to Hasbrook Heights is county road.
All right, then we're good.
Everything else.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Did we do, you finished 68-23?
69.
Resolution 69-23.
Resolution correcting resolution 50-23 awarding bid contract for the 2022 CDBG road resurfacing project.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is not here. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 70-23.
A resolution awarding contract to Boswell Engineering for fire engine 2 apparatus floor renovations.
Motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is not here. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 71-23.
This is a resolution authorizing transfer of 2022 budget appropriations.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 72-23.
It's a resolution awarding contract to HQW Architects LLC for 16-220 Union Street renovation project.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 73-23.
A resolution authorizing tax bill attorney to settle the cases on the attached list dated February 22nd, 2023. They were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 74-23.
A resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody have any conflicts on this very long consent agenda that's coming in? Seeing none, go for it.
Okay, the following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of resolutions 75-23 through 93-23. 75-23 is a resolution authorizing the settlement of a workers' compensation matter filed by Clarence Brown pending in the New Jersey Division of Workers' Compensation, case number 2021-10526. Resolution 76-23 is a resolution authorizing leave of absence for Angel Hajimaraka Romero from February 10th, 2023 to March 5th, 2023. Resolution 77-23 is a resolution authorizing a leave of absence for Michelle Ryan, public health nurse, from January 11th, 2023 to February 5th, 2023. Resolution 78-23 is a resolution authorizing leave of absence for Robert McClintock Jr., firefighter, from January 13th, 2023 to February 26th, 2023. Resolution 79-23 is a resolution authorizing the submission of a Bergen County Community Development Block Grant application for the HVAC in the Civic Center. Resolution 80-23 is a resolution authorizing the submission of a Bergen County Community Development Block Grant application for HVAC and Engine 5. Resolution 81-23 is a resolution authorizing recreation refunds. Resolution 82-23 is a resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding between the Bergen County Department of Health and the City of Hackensack Health Department. Resolution 83-23 is a resolution authorizing participation in the nationwide settlement agreements with CVS, Walgreens, Walmart pharmacies, and drug makers, Tevia and Allergen, to resolve claims involving their roles in the county's opioid crisis. Resolution 84-23 is a resolution authorizing approval to submit a supplemental funding request to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection's Green Acres Park Development Program for Parker Park and Columbus Park Improvement Project. Resolution 85-23 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a State of New Jersey SFY 2023 Safe and Secure Communities Grant. Resolution 86-23 is a resolution authorizing a accrued time payout of $90,754.66 to Police Lieutenant Anthony Littell. Resolution 87-23 is a resolution authorizing partial performance bond release for Midtown Bridge Approach. Resolution 88-23 is a resolution authorizing the release of a performance bond for 150 Main Street. Resolution 89-23 is a resolution authorizing the release of escrow for 116-130 Main Street. Resolution 90-23 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to HQW Architects LLC for architect services. Resolution 91-23 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Suburban Consulting Engineers, Inc. for consulting engineer services. Resolution 92-23 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Suburban Consulting Engineers, Inc. for environmental engineer services. And Resolution 93-23 is a resolution of support from the City of Hackensack authorizing the Green Team to apply for the 2023 Sustainable New Jersey Grant funded by PSEH.
Thank you.
Motion.
Need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as it was just read.
Offer.
All in favor? Aye. Unopposed? We good? Okay, need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman is absent. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anyone from the public who'd like to speak, please come forward. Give your name to the clerk. You will have 3 minutes.
Reverend Davis again. Regarding pedestrian safety, I sent a letter to the city manager and I also talked to the traffic department. And I got a response. They said they did investigate, but I don't think 3 weeks or 4 weeks is long enough. The corner of Railroad Avenue and Central Avenue is a potential death hazard happening. I've watched those crossing guards there, especially when there's only one, trying to cross 4 stops. Now maybe the days they came down, the police officers didn't see anything, but I have been there and seen many accidents or near accidents. And this is what I'm told many times. Well, there's not a lot of accidents there. There's not, but there are a lot of near accidents at that corner. Had a car hit my church one time, thankfully nobody was parked there. There were near accidents there almost every day. And I'm afraid that one of those crossing guards or one of those children will get hit. People still miss the stop sign coming down Railroad Place. I don't know why they don't see it. They come right out there. I've seen her trying to run to 4 corners, trying to stop the traffic. You need to do at least a 6-month investigation. 3 weeks is not long enough, okay? Pedestrian safety. Stanley Place. I was at a DEP meeting the other night. I talked to them. I let them know how angry I had been that when my basement was filled with sewage. But I also asked them, what can help the community councils? You're doing a lot of work, I know, fixing the flooding. I haven't had any major flooding on my block in a long time. They said they have a lot of money. Now, this is what they told the people that were there. They said they have a lot of money and all the cities have to do is reach out to them. So whether you have or not, I don't know. That's what they told me. The St. Patrick's, I want to make sure I heard the St. Patrick's and the MLK luncheons are being canceled this week due to budget restraints this year. Is that true?
Where?
The Recreation Department. They usually have an MLK luncheon.
We're having a coffee and Irish soda bread instead of...
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they're having
still do
coffee
that.
and soda bread
Or,
St. Patrick's Day.
but I understand I thought it was canceled. What about the MLK, the Black History luncheon?
I'll have to check on
I
that.
have to check
I've not
on
heard
it. I heard about the coffee and
Yeah,
Irish
that-
soda
that I
bread.
heard.
That I heard.
All right, I want you to please check in that to make sure that, because if one is canceled, they both should be canceled.
Absolutely.
Okay. And there's one last thing I want to bring up, if I can do it in 19 seconds here that I have. You said that, attorney, that you could not, I just texted somebody from Fair Share Housing. And this is what they said. You can't, on the 60 units on Lot T, open it up to everybody, but you can on anything else. That's the
Sorry,
only
what are
place.
you saying?
On Lot T is the only lot where you're restricted to making it just, to open it to the public, that you can't just do Hackensack. But any other development that you have, you can do it on, any new
Your
development.
question was about Lot T, ma'am, and that's the answer I gave.
No, it wasn't about Lot T. I asked a basic question just about affordable housing, how are people going to get in, can it be open to the public, not just
Well,
Lot T?
my answer was specifically directed to the resolution or the ordinance that was up, which is the only thing that we could be talking about, which is specific to Lot T. Just
Okay,
to
so
be
you
clear.
answered my question, so it can be open to the public.
Let's just, so we don't have more confusion. I mean, in general, the way it was explained to me and my understanding of it is, if it needs to count, anything we want to count with fair share
Right.
has to be open to everyone. It can, and Carol, Reverend Davis, I am with you 100%, and I'll tell you, our fight has to be in Trenton. I mean, I believe fair share ruling should be not required, because, yeah, there's some towns that can't support that, because they don't have it to be a requirement, but it should be preferential treatment. I'm thinking this whole council.
Well, I'm gonna have Fair Share Housing come to the next meeting, because according to what he texted me, it's just lot two.
We
Right.
spoke with them repeatedly over this, saying, oh, we're not even asking for the requirement, we're asking for preferential treatment. So every Hackensack resident automatically goes to the top of the list. And they said that it could not count towards our fair share number.
Yeah, fair share
And we
will
have to
not-
worry about the 2025 numbers that are coming. So anything that the 60 units have us meet our requirement as of today.
Right.
If 2025 is going to be all new roles of requirements. So what we're trying to do is also support the our current residents and support fair share at the same time.
So you're saying in 2025, it would be, you could do preferential
No,
treatment
no, you
Hackensack?
can never do it. I'm saying in right now, we have a certain number that we have to hit, 600 or whatever, or something like that. So with the 60 units, right now, we'll meet the agreement with fair share that we took 5
Right,
years
with
to
the
make,
60 units.
okay? But in 2025, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, let's pretend it's 600, right? In 2025, that 600 could now be 750 or 1,000, okay? We don't know until they come out with that number. So we're trying to be proactive as a city and support the need for fair share for affordable housing. So we're trying to get as much affordable housing as we can accumulated, but we want it to count so that when 2025 comes, we're well on our way to meeting the requirement and the new agreement that we're gonna have with fair share. So for us to be able to do that, they've repeatedly told us, we cannot have preferential treatment for our residents. And I think we should go to Trenton.
Yes, I think you need to, because other towns have
But I
it.
mean, we should get a whole contingency to go.
I just wanna-
Because it's terribly unfair, and I agree with you 100%.
And let me add that I'm gonna go over what I went over last meeting, how this all started with inclusionary. That the Alpines and the upper Saddle Rivers of the world have very few, if any, low-income families. So, but they have requirements for affordable housing. So, if they could only take their own folks from their own town, they wouldn't have it. So they came up with this inclusionary rule, but that inclusionary rule should be for the Alpines and the upper Saddle Rivers of the world. Not for Hackensack, because we have plenty of need right here for our own residents for affordable housing. And it just blows me away that we could build 60 units, right, to meet their obligation and not put one Hackensack person in it. That's possible. That just blows me away. So there's nothing fair in fair share housing, as far as I'm concerned. We're meeting our obligation. They're certainly not taking care of the people who live in this town. I'll tell you that, because they're opening up to 3 counties. 3 counties get a shot at those 60 apartments. All right? That's
Well, some
just
of
not
us will
fair.
have to be in Trenton.
That's where the battle
We
is.
have to be. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
I know I'm over my time. Can I just ask one last question, please?
Sure.
The MLK service was held at New Hope Baptist Church. Were you all aware of it? I know you were
I'll
there.
speak to that. I was out of the country. I received a text message on Thursday, I was out of the Thursday before Monday, that it was out of, I was out of the country. I responded back, I think, when I saw it.
It was the next Monday, yes.
I saw, it was the following Monday. I saw it, responded to the pastor, said, listen, I can't make it. I'm coming back Monday. I checked my work schedules.
Did anyone else know? I'm just saying this, it was
No,
very
no one had
disturbing.
an email. There were no emails sent. Usually, when it was at Mount Olive, it went.
It wasn't Mount Olive.
No, when it was at Mount
Okay.
Olive, which it always was, we got, a message was sent, an email was sent to the clerk's office, or they spoke to the clerk's office, and we were given invitations, all right? So nobody was even aware of it.
But the county, it's sad to sit there, the county executive was there, and 4 commissioners, and no representative from our
I
council.
know that, I'm aware of that. I'm wondering, did they get an email, or did they get text messages? I don't know.
but I know they were there. Thank you.
Well, then they were aware of it.
I have 2 questions. One is, when will Carver Park be finished? I know you're going out for bids or
I
whatever.
wish I could give you a direct, we
Only
want it
because
done
we
as-
missed the whole summer of
We're
summer
gonna fast track
basketball.
that as fast as it can possibly be done, and be done, in a,
And the
safe and.
second thing, well, actually, I have 3 questions.
Right.
When do you anticipate that the program to alleviate the flooding to be completed?
you're still looking at, I mean, we're just, it's,
My basement flood.
I know,
But we are west of the rail, I mean, we're getting ready for the project west of the rail, which is huge. So once we get under the rail, then we can start really, making big progress.
Okay.
Once that pipe goes underneath those tracks, then that water can get it's dammed up from one side to the other, so that's right around the corner. Probably that should be done by this summer.
And
That's
we're
good to
also
know.
looking to put some of the culverts, those are the water retention along railroad there. So that will hold and retain some of the water to help with the flooding too, as soon as they go in. So that should be going in soon too.
Okay, so based on what you just said, I guess 3rd Street won't get paved until after that. I stood up here maybe 5 years ago and asked when would 3rd Street be paved, and they told me the beginning of the next year. I've lived there since 1996. I can tell you, I don't recall it ever being repaved. I've seen it be filled after I call the city manager, maybe the next day someone filled in spots. But at night, when people go across that road and they hit those bumps, you can hear it in every house on that street. So hopefully, I won't be here another 5 years asking me when you're going to repave my street.
But unfortunately, it may be through into next year, depending on how far we get into 3rd
Can
Street.
we find out where Berry Street is on the list and get that?
3rd Street, right?
3rd Street. And can you find out when it was last paved?
Oh, you're way up on the hill too. You're like our street. We're like the forgotten streets. Because I moved in
And it only runs from
1979, they
Central
never paved
to
my
James Street, it doesn't run all the way to Passaic Street, so it is a small street.
Yeah, it's tiny.
We're the same, we're half a circle.
So, but
That's what you guys do.
that's like a short block, right?
Mhm.
It's not long.
It's from
That might be a good
Central to
filler
James
if
Street.
there's extra money from the grant, so put that
Yeah,
on.
because, can you also find out when the last time it was paved? Because I don't recall in the
Yes.
whole time that I've lived there, that has ever been paved in full. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next person, please.
Hello, Tracy Hackensack.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
I just had a few questions. First off, Sty Park. It was closed during COVID and then it got torn down last year. I think February it was torn down. And it doesn't seem like there's quite a bit of progress. So I know summer camp was canceled there last year and just curious if we're gonna be allowed back in this summer. When is that
We got a
anticipated to be
report on that
finished?
this evening that was supposed to be complete, this should be completed by the end of April.
Okay, so now have there been any fines toward the contractors? Like, was there a delay? What
That was
was
brought
the
up tonight.
anticipated finish date?
So one of the concerns was if we give them a finish date of April, and then if they don't, if they go past that, then how much?
Yeah, but what was the initial, like the contracted date when it was bid out?
What was the exact date that was supposed to be done? Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be before like the summer.
So for most,
It's supposed to be done last year.
so for most public works jobs, right? You pay a fine day by day that it's late. So is there looking
So
into
there's a-
anything with the contractor
There
as far
should be
as?
performance bond on that, and that's what would come from.
Plus, they have us in litigation to over the change order.
Right.
There were some supply chain issues, I mean, following COVID.
No, I understand that. But at a certain point, it is still the contractor's
I
responsibility.
agree with you, especially where we are now, that's why we're pushing
Yeah.
them.
Grace, believe me,
Sure.
we're not happy, that park should have been open last year.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
we're not happy either.
And I
We
think
want that park open.
one of the structures they found was unsafe, so they're gonna be replacing that structure. So what I asked is if that's still, because that's a supply chain issue still, if for some reason that's holding it up to secure that area only and open up the remainder of the park,
Okay.
just so we could close that off, because it has to be open.
yeah, that makes sense. Years ago, the back parking lot there used to be turned into an ice rink in the winter. Is there any possibility for that happening again?
We're probably planning and on the environmental commission is looking at a serenity garden back there, like a serenity area back there. We need to lose that blacktop, we need to
More
lose that
greenery.
because we need impervious, we need
Gotcha,
saturated ground, so we probably won't see the ice.
okay. I saw the increase in all the calls. Is there a plan for more fire and police officers?
We just hired, we just put in we got 5 coming from a SACRE grant. Police officers, there's how many in the academy right now?
We have 4 in the academy.
4 in the academy right now.
4 additional,
Yeah.
And firefighters?
Firefighters, there's 5.
Okay, awesome. And Willow Avenue, I know she spoke about paving as well. Willow Avenue is
On the list for this
pretty
year.
good. It is, okay. I tried looking and I couldn't find it.
It was put on as an alternate, but the way it worked is that a lot of it was put off from last year. So Willow falls, I think, on this year's.
Okay, thank you. Now, having the meeting the same day as the Board of Ed meeting, is there any way, I know it was originally scheduled for tomorrow, is there any way when it needs to be rescheduled for it not to be rescheduled on the same day as the board meeting?
Possibility.
Yes.
That's, you honestly, I didn't even know there was a board ed meeting tonight.
Yeah, I was listening to it while I was sitting.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah.
yeah, I didn't even know. That's happened.
We have we have deadlines for ordinances that have to be put in, so we have to do it within a certain span of time. And usually it's gonna wind up being the Monday before that Tuesday we were supposed to have it. Otherwise, we have to cancel it totally and then,
It can't be like the day after, like the Wednesday?
no, because then there's other meetings in here that we can't.
Okay, gotcha,
Because then that would set off a chain of,
Yeah, the newspaper's got a deadline too.
gotcha. Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
The redevelopment,
Mm-hmm,
it's, Hackensack is becoming like pretty unrecognizable, and I grew up here.
mm-hmm.
How much more? Like, is this like never ending?
No, it's not never ending, but the market really drives it. It's not, certainly, we listen to professionals that we have on, that we hire, and we listen to our real estate attorney, our redevelopment attorneys, and it's based on really what the market is doing. And it's not just Hackensack, it's everywhere. If you go in any town, you're gonna see new buildings going up. You go to Ridgewood, there's new buildings, Westwood has new buildings going up.
Not as much as
Hackensack has
here,
a lot more, but you gotta realize, we had a downtown that was dead for 30 years. And Ms. Puntasecki, you're too young to remember Hackensack when it was the place to go. Everybody came here, your best clothing stores, your best restaurants, your best movie theaters. We had 8,000 people in 2 movie theaters every weekend in this place. And that just went away, all right? And then they made it one way, made it even worse, like one way out of town. So over 90% of redevelopment you're seeing is just happening in that rehab zone downtown, all right? The only one outside of those are the ones near train stations, the Jefferson down in your neighborhood off of, by River Edge, all right, which was a DPW, which paid the city no taxes since the day it opened, all right? Green Street is outside that zone, that's right by a train station, all right? And Anderson Street across from the train station. Those are the only other developments really of any consistent size, or big size that are outside of the rehab zone. So the focus is on the rehab zone. And it's creating an environment of the downtown, with people walking. And I drive 6 o'clock in the morning downtown, I see people walking their dogs, jogging down Main Street. You didn't see that 15 years ago.
No, I'm not opposed to that at all.
So the answer of when it stops is when the city is, when that zone has now become, right, its own little city where people live there, they play there, they go out to eat there, they buy products there. They don't have to get in a car and drive anywhere if they don't want to. They don't have to go to the mall, hopefully. That's our goal. We're not going to bring Hackensack back to what it was because the malls are still there.
And the online shopping now, even the malls are gonna be.
The malls are going to really, the malls are getting mauled basically by the internet. So, that's all going to change through the years. What you're seeing is a trend for people wanting to move back into a downtown setting. That's what you're seeing.
And these buildings are renting unbelievably quickly, surpassing everyone's expectations.
Yeah, but people that were living here prior can't afford them.
But
Like,
you're
even for people that I went to
don't
high school with,
disagree.
they can't come back into town because they can't afford it.
People ask me that all the time, I can't afford it, and I say, neither can I, because they're not for me. They're for those people that can, but the advantage of that is we haven't had tax raises in 3 years. They're paying to keep our taxes low.
and let us be able to remain here. And plus, there was no one living in the downtown, pretty much. I mean, there was maybe a handful of very small apartments. But, so we're not saying that people are being displaced from where they were living. We still have lovely residential areas, diverse socioeconomic areas throughout the city. So that, none of that has been changed or implemented. If anything, it's just helped create a better environment for the city, a better reputation for the city, and a place where hopefully we can all go and enjoy. We could go to our downtown. I've always watched out there bringing kids to a downtown. We have something we can walk on a Sunday and enjoy. Why not? Why shouldn't we have that? We should all enjoy that. So, we're still working. We're not there. Like I say, we're still going up the hill. We're almost at the crest where, they're going to, more and more of the construction will be over and we'll all get to enjoy it. But we just have to have faith and see the revenue that's come into the city that's help bring revenue in to do the sewer work that hadn't been done in years and years that needed to be done, to invest in our parks that hadn't been done in years and years and years. How is that happening without raising taxes? It's happening because revenue is coming into the cities. And that's what's enabling us to make the.
Right, and I guess that also, as population rises, how are we maintaining the resources and the quality of life that we have had thus far?
But what you're looking at is a totally, these units or these apartments, again, are catering to folks that a lot of them are wanting to get into New York City. They want the train, they want the bus. They're small. They're small ones and twos, and the majority of them are ones or studios. So they're catering to a very specific market, and they're not affecting, the life or the livelihoods of the rest of us that live in the communities where we live, because no one was virtually living on Main Street before anyway. If anything, it's making our lives better, because when these new restaurants and when these new shops are starting to open downtown, we'll be able to enjoy them as well. So hopefully we see that as a benefit to our lives here.
I mean, I moved in 2007. I was appalled to see not any of the parks touched. I mean, it's terrible. So now we're getting Cushing Park done. I mean, we have so much potential in our parks, and it was sad because it was just ignored all the time. So.
And the M&M building, I mean, our kids were playing basketball, it was Steph says she hosted wrestling over the weekend. The children are so proud when they can show up, this is ours, and this is what they deserve.
Yeah.
They should have these things. So I think it's helping us, or enabling us to do a lot of the infrastructure work as well that needed to be done for so long. So hopefully we can get that message, and I know people have questions because it's a change. And change is difficult even when it's good, even when it's positive, because it's something different. So hopefully people will start to enjoy and see that as a positive change. That's all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, thank you for being patient.
Yes.
And we'll give you some extra time too if you want.
I don't live that far away. My name is Yolanda Hawkins Rogers. I'm a senior in town. I'm a newbie to Hackensack. I've only been here 22 years. So, I've been going to the recreation department meetings because I'm very interested that we do more for seniors, as we have an influx of younger people coming in, but we have a lot of seniors who live up on Prospect and Summit, who are selling their homes and coming into town. So I've been asking and pleading with Patrick Crane, and before that I was working with Steve Savage, and Stephanie knows too, and Vince knows me well now too. I'm the pickleball lady, fighting to have legitimate courses outside and inside for seniors. So back in November when I first started talking with Steve Savage, he wrote up a budget of $11,000 to get the courts we needed for outside. I have heard since there may be some budgetary issues, that that's too much money. I think it's a drop in the bucket when I look at all the money we're spending through the city to help our seniors stay healthy and psychologically healthy, because I'm a psychologist. I think it's important. Our health, mental and physical health is very important. So I keep asking that we try to get those courts developed. I saw the plans that was presented for the different parks. I did not see anything specific for pickleball courts in terms of money allotted. I was told that there would be courts allotted in each park, aside tennis courts, but I didn't see anything in those plans when it was presented by the Recreation Department last month. So I'm pleading for us to really work on that for the summer, and also to get the gym retrofitted. I know someone's been hired to come in and teach seniors. It's free, but some of us already know how to play pickleball, so we want to have the ability to play pickleball other times than what's been assigned to this person who's going to come in and teach pickleball. I think it's a step in the right direction, but I want to know if we can continue to support that effort within the next year. And my second statement is there anyone who can explain or tell me where I can get information of how contracts are awarded? Because I was looking at the information on the different ordinances. I'm just curious and interested in how that process works.
The city manager, if you want to you know, get the number, you can explain it, it's a bid process though.
Yeah, most of it's their bid process, but if you're looking for something along the lines of contracts, you can just go to the state's website and they have the state public contract law. That's what governs everything when it comes to contracts, that when you have to deal with a municipality.
So
It
I
winds
guess,
up usually being, having to be the lowest bidder.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
whatever they come in, whatever the lowest bidder is by state law, that we're obligated.
Okay.
Like we're having issues with Side Park. That was the lowest bidder. You know,
And what happens is
and that may not be the best
Right.
contract.
But
A lot of times
even
it's
though it's
not,
the lowest
right.
bid, it doesn't mean it's the cheapest, because they
Right.
have this thing called a change order.
Are
which
there
whenever
any
it's the lowest
penalties for
bid,
them to pay if they're late in terms of?
we wish we had more control over that and
You kind of like had your hands tied a little bit.
Okay,
They put these change orders in, and all of a sudden they're as high as high bidder. You
yeah.
could have had that high bidder in the first place. And he
Well,
doesn't give you any
they
credit.
just delay and delay. What you see in private industry, they do like a cost and quality ratio.
Right.
So you don't just look at cost, you look at the quality of the performance, how they perform. But the state guidelines doesn't allow that. So as a city, we're tied to the lowest bidder law, so we get
So do
frustrated.
you need a very low bid for the pickleball courts? Is that all right?
It's possible.
Yeah. So I just wanted to follow up, because I wasn't at the last rec meeting, I was away for work, but the way I left it, which I understood, was that we were going to retrofit some of our outside courts with, and that didn't have to be a whole overhaul, it was like something that you could just retrofit with paint and different things, and then we were going to buy a kit for indoor. So that was my understanding, we were gonna have an indoor facility and also outdoor, and the way we were going to do the planning was to have somebody come in to teach newbies about pickleball, but there should also be a lot of time, like free time for people that know how to. So that was my understanding. I don't know what changed at the last meeting, because
I think that's part of the understanding. I'll be over my
You're fine.
Okay.
But I think the issue was the courts in the gym. There was some resistance to actually putting the lines down that would be painted on the floor of the gym. We were told they couldn't do it because they
I was
had
told
basketball
they're
lines.
removable, like they could go down but come up.
You could remove it, but imagine having removable strips for seniors on a court playing, might
I mean, they're not
be too
permanent,
confusing.
like, so if we wanna leave them for as long as we want.
Right, you can paint it like you
Yeah.
paint the lines down for basketball or for soccer, but I was told that they were gonna redo the whole floor, so they couldn't paint the lines for pickleball. I don't see why not,
Right,
because that would solve the problem, then you would not need to have, as I've been told, someone to come in and put down the pickleball courts every time we wanted to play.
right.
That would be, an
Right.
annoyance.
Yeah.
But that was, it's not a big problem, but it's something that I thought would be
I don't see why
simple
they can't
to.
just paint lines for pickleball on the courts, and just.
Why don't we follow up, leave your information for the city manager.
And he knows me,
He
I
knows you.
call him all the
Right.
time,
Let's
right.
make sure we get-
And I thank you for, also, the issue with housing. I think the young ladies brought up something that's very important. I would love to stay in Hackensack. I'd like to move out of my big house to a nice apartment. I'd like 3 bedrooms, that's what I would like here. I don't know if I could stay in Hackensack, because I don't need my big house anymore, but I love Hackensack now and I've gotten involved. So if we could solve the problem for senior housing for those of us who would like to stay in Hackensack, that would be great. I know we're trying to get a younger population. I see them, they're eating in the restaurants, they're walking down the streets, but the seniors are staying in their buildings and taking the bus to New York to see plays. They're not doing anything here in Hackensack, and I know the recreation center is trying to, and ask us to come up with some more ideas that seniors would like, because a lot of towns have great programs. Teaneck, Leonia, why not Hackensack? We are huge. So I would like to see that. That would be my thrust. And to make sure my street doesn't flood, because we've been working on that too, Vince, right?
We're trying.
We're
And
going
it's a slow
to my
pace
street
process,
not
but we're
flooded,
trying.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person, please.
Carlo, sorry. I am also bringing up Side Park. Just to clarify, or just maybe, the bid documents, I thought the contractor had 140 days to complete it, and then it was $1,500 liquidated damages daily. So I know there were supply chain issues, but if he came in at a low bid to get the job, and knew it couldn't be done, then maybe he should be held accountable by paying the liquidated damages, and I just hope that's being looked into.
I'll go right to council with that. I wasn't aware of the $1,500.
I mean, depends on the contractual language, so, you know, we
That was in the bid document, so I imagine that didn't change when the contract was signed.
Maybe that'll prod them along a little bit.
yeah, I mean, we'll have to talk with the project managers.
All right, let's do it.
Or go towards the new playset that needs to be replaced, maybe they can cover part of that.
Believe me, we would do whatever we have to do because we're very disappointed in what's been going on.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I do appreciate that we missed summer camp there, but if they do return this summer, then it's like everybody that has missed the park, because you can't really use it when summer camp is there, none of the neighborhood kids, because it's all different ages and it's not a huge park. So maybe if they could just consider either delaying the summer camp or just giving people a chance to use it if it does open in April.
That I was, they have to go through recreation and Greg's still involved with the recreation summer camps?
No.
So whoever's running the camps, we have to find out what the schedule is like and what they're obligated to, because they have contracts with food people and all that, so.
Unless you just did like a certain area, that, like keep them away from a certain area of the kids.
Yeah, just because we haven't been able to use
Yeah.
it for such a long time.
I mean, the park can work with everybody else that's there. You know, they could do a certain time, like this is the time from, you know, if it's an all day camp. So if we want to do from the early morning for the little kids to keep off that area, playground until 1 or something, and then in the afternoon. But I know the kids that were at Stide were at Baldwin last year, and it was not,
No,
they
that's-
didn't have basketball, like they had nothing there. It
And
was
they're so
really-
close to the street, there's like
Yes.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And just, I had not known about the inclusion, the way Kathleen explained. That should really be put out there more, because I definitely agree that Hackensack residents should have,
Absolutely, they should. And
but,
it's a very simple change, because they just put preferential treatment. They don't have to put the requirement that Upper Saddle River, et cetera, outline. They just put preferential treatment. So if you don't have any residents that are interested, then they don't get preferential treatment. But if you do, then they go to the top of the list.
but I'm fairly informed, and I had no idea about that, so maybe.
We learned a lot over the last 5 years of working with Fair Share.
Put it on
Right,
Facebook,
Albert?
have people share it,
Right, it's not fair.
It isn't
Nothing
fair.
fair about it.
but I 100%, I would, go wherever, do whatever, but I agree Hackensack residents should.
All right, we're gonna bust the train at 10 minutes.
Works to me. Anyone else from the public? Seeing no one from the public, motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Staff?
I'll be quick, I don't know the weather is out there, but first I want to start off by saying congratulations to Lieutenant Briggs. Happy to see the opioid settlement resolution on tonight's agenda. It's scary, I've spoken about this before, but I feel like every time you turn on the news, you hear like another mother crying about their kid losing their child to opioid, and it's a lot of times it's a kid that's a great kid, just playing sports and, hurt themselves and they start taking painkillers or whatever. So that's one more step in the right direction, I feel, for the state and for Hackensack. A few things coming up. Baseball and softball registration, I believe, ends tomorrow, so go to Rec Desk to register if you're still interested, and they are looking for coaches. We are short on coaches again for baseball and softball. The Nellie K. Parker Turkey Trey is coming up on March 10th at 6 p.m., correct? Right? Okay. So you can buy tickets in advance, or you can buy them at the door. Is there any type of place they could go to buy it? Member Hub, okay. All right, so maybe the Nellie K. Parker Instagram or Class Dojo. Okay, so that's on March 10th. And then Ms. Hawkins will definitely look into what's going on. I'll follow up tomorrow and see, where we left off. And in regards to Ms. Davis with the traffic, I'm just wondering, when they do the traffic studies, is the car unmarked? Because that's always a concern. If I see them in a marked car, if I'm speeding, I'm gonna slow down. So I think.
I suggested that.
Okay, all right. Because I noticed even the other day we had the past few months, Clinton and Prospect, there's a few car accidents there. And there are police there, but if they're marked, I think naturally everyone kind of drives more cautiously. So that would be the only question, not so much the time frame, but if it's a marked car or not, because I feel like people naturally kind of slow down.
We're not usually allowed to talk from here, but I think if you talk to the crossing guards also,
as I said, they're not gonna say there's a problem, because then they're gonna think they're complaining about their job and they may lose it, so they're not good to
Right.
talk to.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, maybe having a marked car there and seeing what happens. And then just last, but not least, to our DPW workers and sanitation workers, just to be safe tonight. I don't know what the weather is, but we appreciate all your hard work and just to stay safe and dry. And everyone get home safely tonight. Thank you for coming out in the weather.
Thanks, Steph. I'll also try to be real brief. So nice to see our nice police officers moving up the ranks. So it was a pleasure to see, and the family's so happy to support him, and a lot of the other officers that came too. So it was a great way to start the meeting. Talked about Lot T. I think we had a lot of good conversations tonight, folks. A lot of topics that are important to people, and the affordable housing component of Lot T that was on here tonight. There was a few other items on here that mentioned redevelopment, and that's focusing around the city is looking to have another parking garage in the downtown. We have the one on Atlantic Street. We wanted one more central. So if you're thinking about where the library is, across the street from the library is Musically Yours on that corner. Behind that is a city parking lot. It's called Lot D. So we're trying to do almost like a public-private partnership, work with the developer, so we get a garage built behind there, and in that garage would be public parking for the city to use. And there would be some apartments that would be facing the front and retail facing the front. So a lot of this is, again, subject to the ability of this developer to purchase those properties. The city does not get involved in that type of thing, but this is one step in the right direction to getting more parking into the downtown. Another very important thing, a few of us talked about paving. There's a couple, I think there's 2 or 3 paving ordinances or resolutions on tonight, looking at close to almost $3 million worth of money is going into doing more paving in the city. You know, over the last 10 years that we've been in office, we've been going through the city and doing a lot of paving, and it's going to continue. Again, thanks for coming. I hope it hasn't started snowing. We don't know, all the shades are down, but if it does, be careful walking and be careful driving going home. Everyone stay safe. Is it?
So now,
Right.
yep.
Be careful, everybody. Jeff?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to really address Reverend Davis' concerns about Central and Railroad Place. And I really, that's a difficult intersection there for just one crossing guard. So really, if you can look into it, why do we only have one crossing guard? Because on one side, on one side of the tracks, you know, one crossing guard, on the other side, another crossing guard. Having one try to do all 4 corners, that may be a difficult task. So, and for the safety of our children, you know, it's important. I'm also pleased with our engineering, stating the infrastructure that we're going through with the sewer, water, and storm water. Trying to relieve all that situation. I grew up on Berry Street. I knew exactly how bad the water and everything can be there. So I'm happy that we're making progress. And as for our parks, again, I'm pleased with the progress at this point. I wish there could be more, especially at Sty Park. And I'm definitely going to be looking deeply into our Carver Park situation. And hopefully we get Fashini Park started as soon as possible. Thanks everyone for coming, and God bless you. Mayor?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, that's on my list. We definitely need to look at the second guard. It's a really busy intersection. People, actually, I know exactly what Reverend Davis is talking about. They creep out almost into the line of traffic, and the crossing lanes are right there. So I want to congratulate Lieutenant Briggs on his promotion to lieutenant. It was a nice little ceremony swearing him in tonight. We always enjoy those. Pickleball, I'm totally in favor of moving, full steam ahead. I'm an active senior myself. Probably could use to start playing some pickleball. So you may see me out there. I know it's the new craze, and it's really taking hold countrywide. So we should jump on board with that. Again, our heartfelt prayers go out to retired police officer Kevin O'Boyd, who passed away 2 days ago after a brief battle with cancer. Prayers for his family and his friends. I want to congratulate our councilwoman, Stephanie Von Rudenberg, on a successful Hackensack Junior Wrestling Tournament where they had over 3,000 people. over through the weekend in 2 sessions, and 2 subjects in 1 day. All right, so it's a well-run tournament. I know how hard that is, because I was involved in that for years doing that, and it's a lot of work, and I give you a lot of credit. We had over 50 volunteers showed up, so did a great job. I enjoyed going and watching the kids wrestle, of course, and seeing a lot of old friends when I went there, so it was a fun day. And with that, everybody be careful going home. It's pretty nasty out, but I don't think it's going to be too bad, so be safe. See you in a couple of weeks. Motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.